All right, if you're just joining us, welcome. We have our feature speaker for the day, Mr. Christion Sadler, and I would like to give you a little background about Christion. Before getting started with Renatus, Christion was actually in quite a bit of financial scarcity. He was working a daily wage job in the steel mills. And he had just heard about real estate and the wealth, generating opportunity that it could provide for him. He started attending, different events, different guru events, and for some time he felt like he was really spinning his wheels. But then he found Renatus, and he really plugged into the system, started getting around people he wanted to be like, showing up early, staying late, helping out wherever he could, and because of his sheer persistence. Christion has now been in the real estate business for over 13 years. He's had multiple real estate transactions that have netted over six figures. He's a marketing leader, a PIT team member, one of the founding members of Team Elevate, and we are lucky to have Christion Sadler with us here today. Hi, Christion. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm great, Avi. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Good, man. Hey, I appreciate you being here and appreciate you taking on these calls. One thing that I've noticed about you, Avi, is you're always showing up. You're always asking how you can help, and when something is offered to you, you take it on. And so what you've been doing with these calls is awesome, and I appreciate it. It's really something that we're grateful for as a team. And when you received the service cup this last month, I really didn't think there was anybody that is more well deserved. You do a lot, and you do a lot behind the scenes. That's the one thing about you, Abhi, is that you're so humble in what you do. You don't necessarily look for recognition, and that's, my friend, why you deserve it. So thank you for starting off this call, and welcome, everybody. Welcome to the call. Today I wanted to do something that I've actually done before. I'm going to do it a little bit different, though. And what I want to talk about and do with you guys is a little bit of an exercise, because success leaves clues, right? So you guys have probably heard that before, but what does that really mean? Well, you can look backwards and you can get a pretty good idea of the action to take moving forward. And so they say that, if you want to succeed in any business, then find somebody who has succeeded and follow them, right? But then also what they talk about is when you're running a business, you've got to track your results, because if you track, your actions and your results, you can look backwards and you can really map out a game plan. And so here's what I would like to do. And it looks like we have just over 50 people on the call. And we're going to focus today on enrollments and people that have bought, your most recent people that have bought education. And we're actually going to kind of spell this out, and there's a few things that I want. So I'm going to start this out. Let me share my screen and show you guys what I'm wanting, and I want you guys to be thinking through these things and typing in your results. So let me just click over here to the whiteboard, and let me move my controls around. So, all right. So my most recent sale was a combo. Okay. And they came from Warm Market. Okay. And it actually took them, and let me think through this real quick to make sure that I'm giving you guys the proper number. They went through an intro presentation, a follow-up, another intro presentation with the husband and the wife, and a one-on-one follow-up, and then one more time. So it was 5 total exposures. All right, so here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to think about your most recent education purchase. Now that is either going to be some that you sold to somebody, or if you're newer to the business, or you're getting started, then you're going to talk about your purchase. So let's do this real quick. Let's just kind of map this out so that we can get a good idea on what is working right now in the marketplace. Because again, success leaves clues. So it doesn't take a whole lot to be able to understand exactly what's happening in the business and exactly where you may want to focus your time right now. So do me a favor, and you guys can chat these in to the chat box. Just get that chat pulled up here. And I just want you to share, what did they buy? What was the lead source? Like, where did they come from? And how many exposures did it take for them to actually pull out their cards or, fill out their purchase agreement and get started with us? I know some of you right now, or you're just thinking through the process and you're saying, okay, what was it actually? What did we do? I might have invited them to a cash recovery party. So that's one exposure. And then after that cash recovery party, we invited them to a Thursday night. And that's a second exposure. And then after the Thursday night, they came to the follow-up the next day. That's a third exposure. After the follow-up, I actually invited them down to a cash flow game. That was a fourth exposure. I met with him, them and their spouse. That's a sixth exposure. So just keep going through that. What they bought, where they came from, and how many exposures total. So Tyler, thank you. You've got combo, warm market, and let's see, house tour, that's one. Epic, that's another. Follow-up. Now you said follow-up till funding happened. So was that, Tyler, if you could type in here, was that they came to one follow-up and funding happened? So it was 3 exposures total, or were there multiple follow-ups for them to get their funding in? Thank you, Des. Combo. Sign. That's a roadside sign. And 4 exposures. Multiple one-on-one follow-ups just to keep interest. So how many total, Tyler? 5. Thank you. All right, we got VSW, Essentials, and Warm Market. And 1, 2, so 6, actually more than 6. So we're gonna say 7 plus exposures. And then we've got Tyler again. So Essentials. And when you say cold market, what is that, Tyler? What is that cold market strategy? Some reason, Abby, you may need to give me some type of a host control so I can turn off these videos, or if you could turn them off for me, that would be awesome. All right, let me come back here to the, okay, so 3 foot at a restaurant. Ooh, 3 foot, all right. Oops, 3 foot. Ooh. And 4 plus. Correction. It is my warm market, but cousin referred them. I had not approached the person. So we'll still just leave that as warm market. That makes sense. And then Bruno, essentials. Okay, so that's kind of like a reverse marketing. And Bruno, how many exposures before they bought? How many exposures? Eloy, cold market turned warm. Tell me more about that. Give me an idea. Okay, Bruno, I only want to have results on here of people that have bought. So whether that's your purchase or whether that is a sale that you made, we want to go with orders in because results speak. So we want to go just off of results. Eloy, cold marketing turned warm. Where did the original come from, Eloy? And I'm going to put it in here, combo. Last day of the event. So I guess that's kind of a 3-foot rule as well. And Eloy, well, let me scroll back up. Oh, 3 exposures. Okay. 3. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. Bear with me here, folks. Get this all sorted out. All right. Got too many things in my way here. All right, combo. Let's come back up here. So, Corey, combo. Corey, where did they come from? What lead source? So some combo, 2 exposures. And Diego, essentials, warm market. Eight exposures. And then X combo, warm market. Oops. Warm, 5 exposures. And then Corey, Craigslist. Craigslist, Eloy, combo, warm market, 5 exposures. And all right, how many do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's get one more. We've got one more. Somebody share either where they came from or, okay, here we are. We got Spokane, a combo, warm market, and how many exposures? Rico from Spokane. How many exposures did it take? Took 6 months, 6 exposures. All right, cool. So let's look at that. And I'm just going to get rid of the chat for a minute, so I'm not going to be looking at that. But let's look at this. So we have one warm market, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 for warm market. Oh, come on. 7 for warm market. Got 1 for signs, 2 for 3-foot rule, and 1 for Craigslist. So you guys can see, obviously, the leader here, as always has been and probably always will be, right, in this business. Warm market is what's getting results. Now, that's not the only thing working, though, of course, right? Because out of 10, I mean, we've got 10% of these sales. This is obviously a small segment of just 10 sales that we're going off of here. But out of 10 sales, 10% were from roadside signs, and 20% were from 3-foot rule, meaning just building relationships, and another 10% were from Craigslist. So just to kind of give you an idea, this is where people are getting real results. These are actual sales that have gone in. Now, the other thing that I want to point out, and let's do this math real quick. So I'm going to take all of these exposures, I'm going to add them up, and I'm going to divide them by 10. So let me just type this in here. So 5 plus 5 plus 4 plus 7 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 8 plus 5 plus 5 plus 6 equals 54. Divide that by 10. So 5.4 exposures average. So 70% of the sales that have come on this line of what you guys have shared have come from warm market. 10% from signs, 10% from Craigslist, 20% from 3-foot rule, and it took an average of 5.4 exposures. Now, I saw some people also putting timelines in there. So people were saying took 6 months, took 5 months, right? So if we went through there and we talked about the timeline, I'll bet if we average that out, that timeline is going to be multiple months of people going through this process. And the reason I wanted to spell this out to you today is some people are getting frustrated way too early, right? The other thing we could go through here on is we could say, okay, how many people did you actually talk to before you got this enrollment? How many people did you go through as far as leads that have responded to your ads on Craigslist before you actually enrolled somebody? How many, roadside signs did you put up? And so you can continue to go through these numbers and break it down. And what you'll find is most people, they just simply need to continue to increase their numbers, right? They just need to continue to focus on the activities. And one thing that's really easy to get stuck in is getting good at making invitations and not following up, not continuing to book a meeting from a meeting. And when you do that, you actually put yourself in a cycle where if you never hit this average, you're going to end up frustrated. So your focus is right here. You want to focus on how can you move people as quickly as possible through at least 6 exposures. Because on average, that's where you're going to be. You're going to need to have at least 6 exposures before somebody enrolls in their education. So I see I have some more chats in here. Let's pull that up real quick. Don't give up your best friend. Yeah, don't give up on your best friend. That's absolutely right. And we've got another one, 11 exposures for Becky, X-Combo, roadside sign 4. So 4 exposures for Newton. And so you guys are getting the point here. We could go on and on, right? That's another one for roadside signs. So, our average goes up there if we continue to do this. Well, what did I do wrong then, Becky? You said the average is 4.9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, because it's 11 examples. You are right. Thank you. So average 4.9. Thank you for checking my math. Let me erase this real quick. Oops. Come on, draw. 4.9. So some of these ratios that I gave you on the other side are a little bit different as well. So 11 total. We're still pretty close though. Still pretty close to about 70% of your sales are coming from warm market, and those sales are going to come in on about the 5th exposure. So we've always said this is a 3 to 7 exposure business. It always has been, folks. You're going to sometimes have those people that come down and they show up and they say, I'm all in. But it's rare. And this is where, you know, especially in Utah, I know that we've really refined our system to focus on how can we close on what's next? How can we close to the next exposure? And then from that exposure, close them to the next exposure. Because almost 90% of the time, you're going to have at least 3 exposures, right? You're going to have an intro, a follow-up, and then you're going to have a sit-down where you're going to actually enroll them, where you're going to, put in their cards, where you're going to, use the funding that they found based off your action plan that came from your follow-up. So just kind of wanted to lay this out. This is kind of the exercise that I wanted to do with you guys. I do it for myself, and it benefits all of you, right? I want to see what's working out there. I want to see what people are doing. I want to see what, what's actually happening in the marketplace. And, quite frankly, folks, these numbers have not changed in years. So I'm talking, I've been a part of this business for 14 years, right? With Bob Snyder and with this education. And when I first started, guess what they told me? They said the majority of the results that are coming in are warm market. In fact, they would do this actually at an event where they would say, okay, stand up if, somebody, you knew personally invited you here. So, stand up if you called off of a roadside sign. Stand up if, whatever. And almost every single time, 70 to 80% of the people who were in that room came from warm market. And then we went through and we would actually say, how many of you had to see this information one time and you were in? And usually there was, in a room for about 100 people, there was maybe one person, right? And then, how many of you had to, see 2 exposures? And there were a few more people, 3 exposures, 4 exposures, 5 exposures. I mean, here's the thing. And if you go back and you track how many invites did you need to do? How many invitations did you have to make? Now, I had a mentor in this business working with Bob and his previous company. His name was Chad Wade. And this guy was making about $1.8 million a year just on education referrals, just on what it is that we do on the marketing side of the business. And when he would share his story, he talked about the fact that his friend who invited him down invited him 14 times. 14 times. And finally he showed up. He showed up on the 14th invite. So somebody in there said, truth on time, don't give up on your best friend. That is absolutely true, right? Some of you, you're so nervous to make that first phone call. And then when somebody says, yeah, maybe, you take that as a rejection. Or they say, that's not really something I'm interested in. You take that as a no forever. A no is just not right now. So, if we get really good at follow-up, we're going to get really good at making money. And not just making money. You guys know, and if you don't know by now, let me explain it to you. This is about changing lives. Money is just a byproduct. Renatus is personal development with a paycheck. You have the opportunity to develop yourself personally, and you have the opportunity to change the lives of the people around you. I mean, I think about the people that I have enrolled in this education. I think about the thank yous that I get and the people that tell me that I changed their life, the people that say they're so grateful for the opportunity. And I get paid for that. That is freaking cool. All right, jumping over here. Bruno, you said explain the warm market, please. Warm market is just somebody that you already know. So you've already built a relationship with. They already know your name. They can, they see your face and they know who you are. And it's just about having a conversation with those people. And I can actually break down a quick conversation for you guys, because what you want to do is just focus on those things in your business. And one of the things that I've done with some of the members of my team, and I'm actually going to be opening this up I would encourage all of you to do it. I kind of got this from Dane Clark. Dane Clark was going through his one a day with his team, where he just said, commit to reaching out to one warm market contact per day. And the conversation can go something like this, because I don't have a ton of time. So who's willing to role play with me? Is there anybody on the line that's willing to come out and role play with me?
I'm game.
Who is that?
Hello? Hey, Christian. It's Robbie Wanso from Seattle. I'm game.
Is it Robbie?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So we got some background noise as well from somebody else.
Sorry about that.
Okay, are you still there?
Yeah, do you want me to do it or somebody else? I'm just stuck in dead-end traffic.
Oh, gotcha. Is there somebody there with you that's talking? Because we're just hearing talking in the background.
Oh, really? No? Nobody's here with me.
All right. Well, then we should be good. Let me just check if anybody else is off of mute. And as of right now, I think we're good. Let's go with it. So, Robbie, who do you want to be? Somebody from my warm market. Oh, Robbie, did I lose you? Uh-oh.
I can do it if you want. This is Peter.
All right, Peter, let's go to you just for timing's sake.
All right.
So, Peter, who do you want to be? Someone from my warm market.
How about your brother-in-law?
Okay, perfect. So his name's Doug, but I'm going to call you Peter.
All right.
So, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Peter, how's it going?
Oh, good. How are you?
Good. Hey, normally I'd be calling you for something specific, but let me tell you what's going on. I've actually, you know that I've been in real estate for a while, and I just made a commitment that I was going to reach out to at least one person a day and just let them know a little bit more about my business, what I do, and how that could benefit them or someone that they know. Would you be willing to just, listen to some of those things?
Well, maybe. Is this like some MLM thing, or what's going on?
I said that I was in real estate because you know that already.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was going to share with you some of the ways that my business could benefit you or somebody that you know. I committed to do it one a day. If you don't have time right now, though, I understand. Let me go ahead and I'll call somebody else. And, is there a better time that I might be able to call you?
Well, no, I've got some time. That's fine. Yeah, let's go ahead.
Okay, you sure?
Yeah.
All right.
That'd be great.
I'm a little freaked out there, so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me do this then, Peter. Let me just share with you real quick, because that way I can, meet my commitment for today. So one of the things that I do, and I know you know this already, you know that my mom just referred me Georgia's property, and we were able to help them out. So one of the things that I do is I help people out of tough situations. So people that need to sell, where they may have an issue, they might be facing foreclosure, or they just need to get out of the property. It could be residential property, it could be commercial property. I'm able to offer solutions that aren't typically available on the retail marketplace because of my community of real estate investors. So I'm just curious, Peter, do you know anybody that needs to sell a property right now or needs to get rid of it or is having some trouble with it?
Yeah, actually, my mom they're trying to move, but they're kind of in a tough place right now.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, geez, I don't know why Anna didn't call me in the first place, but would you be willing to just let her know that I'd be willing to take a look and see what's going on, see if I can help?
Sure. That'd be great.
Okay, cool. I don't have her number handy. You mind if I just give her a call also?
No, that's fine. Yeah, it's something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So that's the first thing. Now, the next thing is oftentimes through my community of real estate investors, I'm able to get properties before they hit the open marketplace because, I know people that are in the remodel process. And so, it's a very competitive market right now. And so kind of the benefit of knowing me for some people is that they can get access to those properties before they hit the marketplace and therefore save themselves some money because not having a realtor involved. Do you know anybody that's, that would be interested in buying a property right now and know what they're looking for?
Somebody buying. Well, I know somebody at work that's actually looking for a new place.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah.
So if you want, why don't you reach out to them, find out exactly what they're looking for, and let me know, and maybe I can just give them a referral. How does that sound?
Perfect. Yeah, that's great.
Okay, cool. So next thing is, Peter, a lot of the times when I'm funding my real estate transactions, I'm using a private money lender, and I usually pay these people high rates of return in order for them to lend the money on my deals. And some people I even offer them a percentage of the profit itself. And so I'm just wondering, do you know anybody that has money sitting anywhere that they're not getting the return that they would want to get, that would want to get a higher rate of return than they're getting now, backed by real estate?
Well, my father-in-law might have an IRA that he's not really too happy with, and yeah, that might work.
Yeah, I've actually had a lot of people that have used their retirement funds and been able to, get a tremendous amount higher return utilizing it on my deals. So I'd love to talk with him.
All right, yeah. Here's his number.
Cool, perfect. And do you mind if I just told him that you had mentioned that he might have some funds available and want to put them to work?
No, yeah, that's fine. Do you want me to introduce him or?
Yeah. Maybe we can do a 3-way phone call.
Yeah.
What's your schedule tomorrow? Maybe we could schedule a time.
4:30 tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. Let's do that. So the other thing is, one of the things that I've been learning with my group of real estate investors and actually helping to teach others is there's a lot of ways the banks are kind of taking advantage of us without us knowing. And a good portion of our payment is going towards interest, even though they tell us it's like 6%, we're paying like 80 to 90% of our payment to interest. And within our group, we're actually teaching people how they can pay down those large debts like mortgages or car payments, things like that, even student loans, at 2 to 3 times faster than they normally would, just simply by changing the way that they flow their money. I'm curious, do you know anybody that has a mortgage or a large debt that they would want to pay down quickly, that they'd be interested in learning a little bit more about that strategy?
Oh, well, I do. Yeah, actually, that sounds really interesting. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you guys are only like 3 years into that house out there in Riverton. This might work good for you. Do you think that you and Shirley would want to come out to an event and just learn some more?
Yeah, I think that might be okay. Yeah.
I'm actually getting together this Thursday with some folks over at the Salt Lake Community College. It's going to be at 7 in the evening. Will you still be working by then, or will you be off?
We'll be off by then. So, yeah, I think I can do that.
Okay. Let Shirley know, and maybe she can come. I don't know if she can get a babysitter for the girls or not, but yeah, I'd love to have you both there if possible.
Yeah, I should be able to. I'll talk to her and let you know.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then one more thing that I'll throw at you that, you know, that I'm doing with my business. And I know I've talked to you a little bit about this, but one of the things that I do working with my group is I actually help other people learn how to buy real estate, how to flip properties, how to buy rental properties, and really put themselves in a position where, you know, they have a passive income long-term, so they don't have to work till they die, basically. I'm just curious, have you had anybody reach out to you, or do you know anybody that's interested in learning real estate investing?
Well, you know, my wife's always been wanting to flip a house.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and, you know, sister-in-law, yeah, they want to.
Well, I mean, if you guys are already coming down on Thursday, why don't you invite your sister-in-law as well, and let's all just hang out together. Maybe you can go to dinner afterwards.
All right. Sounds good.
Cool. I'll need to get you registered. It is by invitation only, and I think I have Shirley's info, but what is your email address? What's the best email address for you?
Okay, that's Schnebs something at Yahoo. Yeah.
Perfect. And then do you happen to have the phone number and email of your sister-in-law?
Yeah, it's something. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I'll get you all registered. Let me know for sure, you know, that you're going to make it. In fact, before I actually save you a seat, is there anything that you need to check on?
Let's see. I've got a scout thing maybe, but I usually don't go to that anyway. So yeah, I'm good.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to register you right now. Let's both talk to Shirley, and then you reach out to your sister-in-law. And as soon as we get a confirmation, then I'll get them registered also, and I'll reserve them a spot.
Okay, great. Hey, thanks for reaching out to me.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for listening. And I'll be following up with these folks. And if anything comes of it, of course, I'm going to make sure that I take care of you. So I appreciate your time, Peter.
Awesome. Thanks, Christian.
Yep. All right. So it can be as simple as that, folks. I mean, how many of the people in your warm market, if you said, hey, if I committed to make one, to talk to one person a day and share with them a little bit about my business, how it could benefit them or somebody that they know, would you be willing to listen? How many of them would say no? I would have to guess most of them wouldn't. All right. We're at end of time for today. Let me just check our chats real quick. Allie said, Christian, could you role play calling someone that you haven't seen and talked to in many years? Yes, I can. It'll have to be another conversation though, but it's basically just like that conversation. Allie, another conversation. What if they work or can't make it to the meeting? Then you just focus on the next event. So if they can't make, this Thursday, then you might focus on, the Saturday intensive with Garrett Gunderson. And if it's not the Saturday intensive, then it can be something else. And so you just continue to look forward to another event. And of course, because it's warm market, you can always sit down with these folks one-on-one. You can just go sit down with them one-on-one. Cool. All right. Hey, you guys get out there and make it happen. Here's your numbers. This is what's happening in the marketplace right now. Takes about 4.9 exposures. So 5 exposures total on average to get somebody enrolled in this education. Don't quit after the first no. Thanks, guys. Get out there and make it happen.